Welcome to the Solo Parenting Podcast. My name is Jennifer, and I'm your host. This is to inspire all you moms or dads that are single parents that are doing it all on your own. My guest today is Tracy. So, Tracy is a single mom of two boys who's had financial struggles and emotional struggles. So, Tracy, do you want to go ahead and maybe just tell us a little bit of your story?
Absolutely. I'm really grateful to be on something like this because I think it's so important to be able to inspire other people and realize no matter where you're at, no matter what your history has been, it doesn't determine your future.
Yeah,
Really, you determine your future. And
100%.
when you get in and crisis creates opportunities. I really would never have looked at business if I had not gotten into a situation where I was really struggling financially. So yeah, as Jennifer mentioned, when I became a single parent, I was about 40. I had two teenage boys. I had a really good job at TELUS. Future wasn't friendly, I will just say that. And then all of us, now my husband's income's gone. And so we were making 90,000 plus back in the 90s. And then all of a sudden, same bills, same commitments, but half
Yeah.
the income because I didn't, receive any sort of child support, just basically where he was at. He struggled with alcohol and addictions. And so I had to really step up as a mom and a provider.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been a provider. I was a single mom really for the last 5 years of my marriage, quite frankly. But I did all I knew, which was to
Mm-hmm.
get more jobs, right? If you need to make more money, you get more jobs. So
Yeah.
I am a Gen X. I'm 57. And so we were taught to work hard. I
Yep.
just don't think they taught us how to work smart.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Same thing. Like we can work really hard, but we're not like told to work smart or even how to save money or handle our money. I think our parents maybe done a better job of that, but not us. So I guess being having a single paycheck, I guess, is that reason why you were got into business?
Absolutely. Well, I worked three jobs for 3 years, right? So, working at TELUS, I worked as a caregiver. That was very natural for me. I cleaned houses. I worked as a designated driver. I did whatever I could to make money that was, obviously legal and all that. And I actually thought I'd get this huge refund from the government because of all the work I was doing. And I ended up owing money. I realized that they don't take enough on taxes when you're working part time.
Yeah.
And so I literally did that for 3 years and I felt completely frustrated thinking, not only did my kids lose their dad, they lost their mom too because I was never home. I was always working.
Yeah.
And so I came across a business where they actually teach you first off about money.
Yeah.
Didn't learn the rules of the money game. I mean, I was putting into an RESP and all that stuff. I didn't, TF, I didn't really understand it.
Yeah.
So number one is they taught me about money so I make better decisions. But they taught me to think differently. So if there's anything I could bring on to the next generation is asking different questions like, how many different ways can I get paid for this same time?
Yeah.
How do I do the work once and get paid over and over again? I think the difference between wealthy people and everybody else is how they make their money. They know how to
Mm-hmm.
leverage their time and they know the rules of the money game, which they're not teaching us in any sort of school.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I got fully licensed. I've been licensed since 2006. I managed to leave all those jobs. I left TELUS in 2010. I left all those other jobs, way back then. And so now I'm a home share provider because I also realize if I have this gift of helping others, and if I have to live with somebody anyways, I might as well get paid for it. So it's
Yes.
another way that I'm getting paid to help somebody. And
Yep.
then now I'm full time in my business and I do specialize in disability resources. I do have a real heart to help other people and to be an advocate, maybe for people that can't speak for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And, moving forward, I've got two sons. They're independent, so I must have done okay, right?
Yes.
They're
Yes.
not depending on me and they're they just turned 30 and 33, and I've got two grandsons
Wow.
that I will tell you will be wealthy because I've learned some things that I never knew before. I wish I knew 30
Yeah.
years ago, but you can only go by what do I know right now and how can I impact other people positively. So I love teaching people about money. I realized because I grew up with a single mom on welfare that I had a really horrible relationship with money. And so
Hmm.
one of the main things I had to do was create a new relationship with money, learn about it, and then not feel so much anxiety and stress when that word comes up. Because the question is how does it make you feel when you think about that word, right?
Yeah.
Did your parents fight about it? Did you watch things like Scrooge and think the only way you can be wealthy is to step on people or make them work at Christmas? It's just not true. But I
Yeah.
had to work on that a ton.
So just a couple of questions. Like, you said that you're licensed. So does it take a long time for you to get a license? And then which industry is this?
That's a great question. So I have a life insurance license and a mutual fund license.
Okay.
So the company that I work with actually subsidized the cost. So normally to get a life insurance license in BC, it's about $1,500. They paid the majority of that. It was
Okay.
$150 for me to get my independent business application, do my background check, make sure that I was a good girl, which I was, to be able to get licensed. And then the mutual fund license was $375 with our company providing most of that. And then as soon as we did our first sale, we got that money back. So they're always incenting people to produce and really do the right thing by people.
So that's only in Canada because that's where we are located. Do you know anything about the States at all? Is that
Absolutely. With our company, we're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. We're in Canada, United States, and Puerto Rico.
okay?
The
Okay.
the difference within the states, it's a lot more challenging to get your mutual fund license. It's
Yeah.
like Series 6, it's all these different series of licenses you have to get. Here in Canada. It's just mutual fund. It's actually an easier license to get than the life insurance. That can take up to 3 months with you doing everything the way that you're supposed to. So it's, yeah,
Okay.
a different process. But here's the worst case scenario. You go to that 2 weekend course, you know more about money than 80% of the people out there.
Yeah.
Nobody will take advantage of you financially ever again. How much do you think
Hundred
that's
percent. Hundred
right?
percent. Yeah.
Somebody.
You learn a lot. So if somebody was listening to this and they would be interested, maybe reaching out to you, so how could they get a hold of you because they want to learn more about money? So where could they?
Absolutely. I'm all over social media. So Tracy Pequin, I'm on Facebook. You Google me, you'll see my website. I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn. I
Okay.
don't necessarily use all of the social media great because you got to be, yeah, you have to pretty well be an expert at each one of them, and I'm not, but
Okay.
I am definitely out there. So yeah, I would love to connect and see
Connect
how
with you.
we can
Okay.
help you run
Awesome.
this. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So in a way, I guess backtrack a little bit more. Even like you had teenage boys, so that way you're lucky. So you can go ahead and work three jobs, or even stay at home mom later on. But what would you kind of advice would you give somebody that had maybe younger children and they were not allowed to leave the home, but they have to because they to survive? Like you need food and shelter and
It's funny. As a single mom, I did whatever. I drove at nighttime in the rain time, like working as a designated driver. A good night working as a designated driver, you make like $100. A
yeah,
good day in the business that I'm in, somebody just made $20,000 because they moved a huge investment. So
oh
I
wow,
think I think the biggest thing for people is we have to change the way we think,
yeah,
right? That is the biggest challenge. We need to be self-directed, right? We've taught our kids how to take good, how to pass tests
yeah,
instead of how to be self-directed and
mhm,
and not following everybody, off a cliff because people aren't doing well. What used to work 30 years ago, getting a good job, getting an education, you're good till 65, it's not real anymore. It's
yeah,
not.
exactly,
So we have to think outside the box, right? How many different ways can I get paid for this time? Just by having a side hustle as well as a job, it's
yeah,
worth anywhere from $200 to $500 per month of tax write-offs,
Yeah.
right? So any accountant worth their, yeah, they'll suggest having some sort of a side business as well as a job, and then potentially you can transition out like I did. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not give it a shot? What's the worst? We know that if we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to keep getting what we're getting. So why not look at something different?
Yeah. Especially with nowadays with inflation going up, though, like food prices just skyrocketing. It's just getting horrendous. Like the jobs that they're getting, either people laid off or they're just getting shut down or they're moving overseas where they can go cheaper. And not everybody can do that. Right. So,
Absolutely. And here's the thing, I know a lot of people looking for jobs right now and they're having a hard time getting minimum wage jobs. Let's be real, right? With the apps, with AI, with Amazon. So Amazon, retail stores are gone, right? AI has taken so many jobs. People didn't survive in restaurants after COVID, the cost of food, right?
yep.
It's really difficult to have a brick and mortar business now because of the costs and all
Yep.
the risks associated with it. So I don't have a warehouse full of stuff I got to sell, right?
Yep.
Everything
Yep.
is all, so the beautiful thing is now our business has transitioned all online. I've been using Zoom since 2017. I was an
Mhm.
early adopter, and I remember saying at the time, everybody's going to do business this way.
Yep.
Now I got to be careful because I have a pretty strong relationship, but everybody's doing business this way. So have a job, have that secure income coming in. Look for some side hustle. Doesn't have to be the one I'm in. Something that you can make money at, and just make sure that you're not, getting in a warehouse full of stuff. And as
Yep.
we know, and many of the companies that have done this for years and years have all gone bankrupt. There's many companies out there that were doing network marketing, but they're just not viable in this new economy. If you're in the
Yep.
money business, money is always a thing, right?
Yep.
So that's part of the reason why I'm here. Because there's always some ways that we can help people, whether it's helping them get out of debt faster, better growth off their money, understanding all the things about money when that's the stuff we should have been taught in school, in my opinion, but we
Yeah.
haven't.
I think we agree because I was earlier, like back in 2017, I did join a financial company as well. And I did get my license, but I guess things didn't work out for me. But I learned a lot being in the financial industry. I kind of knew how to save, uh, show my kids later on what they can do. So that helps a lot.
If nothing else, the financial education is imperative. And like we have one starting, we have them, Thursday nights at 6:30 Vancouver time. There's 5 of them. It's all online. It's
Okay.
all free. So if you ever want to just understand more about how your money works, create a new relationship with money, just send me
Yep.
a message and I'd love to, set people up on that, because I think the biggest challenge for most of us is our relationship with money. And if we have a poverty consciousness, if we have struggles, we think, how do I cut back? If we have a wealth consciousness and we have struggles, we think, how do I make more?
Yep.
Right. And there's
Yep.
a big difference in that mindset right off the bat.
Yep. Well, thank you so much, Tracy, for coming on my show today and just sharing your expertise with the financial industry. Anything else that you want to say to my audience? Anything else in closing?
You're very welcome. I'd love to be part of this. It really is. However, you need to find out about money, I think you really want to learn, right? You can go
Yeah.
to the realmoneyworks.ca. There's a brochure website, marketing materials, there's videos, there's all kinds of different ways, but get educated, right? For yourself, for your family, because the financial industry does take advantage of people. People
Yeah.
are signing contracts they don't understand, because they make you feel stupid about asking questions. And just side note, I went into a bank one time and I said, hey, I heard mutual funds were good. Can you tell me about them? And they said, well, we have ethical funds or balanced funds. What would you prefer? And I'm like, I want to be ethical and balanced. So I signed on the dotted line. I still had zero idea of what a mutual fund is. So don't be afraid to push and to ask questions until you properly understand what you're signing before you sign.
Definitely, because I find like the banks, they're trying to do is make sales for themselves and get a quarterly earnings or yearly earnings, but they don't care about the consumer at all. You got to do it yourself.
Absolutely true. They, they're scared to lose their jobs. Part of our training talks about that. They're so told to sell products, and if they don't produce, they don't have a job. So
Yeah.
they may not even want to sell you the GICs, even though they, that may not be the best product, but they're being told they have to do so many. So
Yeah.
yeah, the bank is not really looking out for you, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you so much for coming on to my show. All right. Thank
You're very
you.
welcome. Thank you, everybody. Hope I helped somebody.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.